Hi friends, today I am in Middle Sweden and here is a big resort ski area named Ore. It is popular with its winter activities. It has more than 100 ski slopes and more than 40 ski lifts and ski cabins. There are many ski activities such as downhill skiing, uh, cross-country skiing, powder snow skiing, etc. etc. Ura has summer activities and it's popular with its summer activities too, such as swimming, hiking, climbing, paddling, etc. etc. And one of the important activity here is downhill biking, which is very important and which is very exciting for me because I have experienced with many time uh, like city cycling or normal cycling in China. It's very common, but it's my first time I heard this downhill biking. So let's visit this place, and our friend Wolf is going to explain because he is one of the designer of these biking tracks. He is a good designer of ski tracks as well. He has company named Track Solution.
Okay, so this is Börja.
Yeah.
This is Åre Bike Park. It's an area where it's lift-fed gravity biking, downhill biking, another word. And we have built up this with trails, special purpose built for biking down from the mountain again. The uplift is with lifts. I think it's peak season, it's 6 lifts we use for biking. And it's all kind of people do it nowadays, not just young boys wild. We have been working 10 years to get away the extreme tagging on this sport, so it's nowadays it's also girls, families, a lot of rental. I think we said at least half of the riders here have a rental bike and they do it for one of the first time or first days. They do it.
Okay.
The experts are not so very many actually. They are very important for the rumor of the sport, for the image. But I mean for the business, it's the other guests that's important. That's the way it is.
So how many slopes right now for this?
It is around 40 trails purpose built for downhill.
Oh, yeah.
40 trails down the mountain. The maximum elevation is nearly 900 meter, but most trails are half of that. You go up half the way with the lifts and then bike down half the way. You can go all the way, you can go up with a cable car or other lifts, and you have 900 meter of elevation down. It will take, a normal rider it will take half an hour, 45 minutes to go down again. And I mean, everything is well thought through. I mean, the longer trails you have, the longer time the riders will spend on the trails instead of standing on the line. So if you have short trails that you go down very quickly, you will have longer line and they will not be as funny. So when you plan things like this, skiing and biking, you have to think of these details as well. How will the infrastructure and the logistic work to make this sport fun as well?
So 45 minutes, quite long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from the top down, I mean, the best ones, the very, very best ones in the world. We had some special downhill when the Mess start downhill, French race here 5 times. And the best ones would do it in 15 minutes, but they are the best in the world. So normally I would say half an hour, that's the normal thing. The ones who take it easy take it in 45 minutes or an hour maybe.
Okay.
But they do 3 runs, 4 runs in a day, and then they are satisfied when they have that kind of elevation. You know.
So Uri is the world one of the top.
One of the top in the world, yes. For this downhill biking, absolutely one of the international ones.
How many skiers doing like that in the world right now?
It's growing all the time.
It's a new program, actually.
Yeah, it's a new. I think, of course, it's hundreds now, but it takes time to get high quality.
Yeah, quality.
You have to, like I said, you have to find your niche. You have to find your style, you have to find your customer, and then build out of that, actually. Where do you find your customer for this? And what do they want?
You told me that your customers now extending right now.
Yeah, very much.
Year by year, right?
This is a quite new sport anyway, so it's like all sports, you have the early adapters.
Yeah.
And that's very often boys around 20. They find a new sport, they like it very much, they make it extreme because they want to be extreme, so they make it extreme. But they will not be very many. However you do it, they will be not very many of them. So you have to widen it. You have to get in families, girls, younger kids into it. Then you widen it. And that's have happened here during 10 years. I mean, like I said, we have about at least half of those people here are using rental bikes. They're not biker yet, but they will be because they think it's fun. But it's growing all the time. It's growing in order. For 10 years, it have been mid growth of about 10% per year. And that's very much.
Oh, that's quite.
I mean, in the first years, just a couple of thousand biking days, like we say it. It's not bikers, it's biker days. So if you hear biking 2 days, that's 2 biker days for you. But nowadays it's close to 25, and when I was in charge of this, I had the goal to get it into 50,000, and that's very realistic in not too long time. Because, like I said, the early adapter is not the dominating thing now. It's the rest of the type of customer that do it. But you have to do this. The early adapter make the image. They make the heroes that every sport need to show the sport for the world. And what have been important for us, like I said, have been to make other trails that not only for this early adapter, the extremers, to make the families into it, just to have a nice time on the mountain going down. That's very important.
So, do you think like winter activity and skiing and this summer activity like biking, and how do you think about this tourist experience?
I think it's quite a lot the same customer actually. One very, very important thing for me in working with this, it's you become a skier. You identify your personality as you're a skier, and also a biker when you start doing it. You do it even if you're not living here in Åre, for example, and you like biking. You come here for 1 week a year and do it because you're a biker. Same thing with skiers. And you need the skill. You get better every year, and you think it's more fun every year. And that make it returning customer. They come back every year, they come back every week, they come back every day and do it. Compared to a lot of other sports. It's just bungee jump, for example. You don't travel the world doing bungee jumps because you're a bungee jumper. You do it once. or twice,
That's true.
for example. But biking and skiing have that in common. You
Yeah,
become
return tourists, you
yeah,
mean,
yeah, a returning customer.
Uh-huh.
That's one very important
Okay.
aspect why this is interesting for ski resorts. Another interesting thing, you have the business all year round.
Yeah.
Very important thing about that is you can handpick your best employees and give them better work because they can work longer time.
Yeah.
And it raises your chance to keep them as employees,
Yeah.
the best ones. If they only have work 4 months per winter, they will find some other work.
Yeah.
And some other employee will find these best workers and hire them for longer time or even. But for a ski resort, to have the summer, you can get your customer to work more, and they like it.
Yeah.
So that's also a very important thing why ski resorts do this now, because they want to give their best employees better work.
Yeah. So most of the bikers they rent bike. Actually,
As we see here, yes,
yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
most
Nowadays,
yeah.
for a new place,
Yeah.
new biking, they have their bikers. They have their own bikes.
Yeah.
Like we for 10 years ago here was 90% of the biking days was people living here in the village.
Yeah.
They had their own bikes.
Okay.
They have the season pass. They live in the flat, not in the hotel.
Yeah.
They eat in the flat. They didn't go to a restaurant. But it was very important that we started in that way.
Uh-huh.
Nowadays we have these people with the rental bikes.
Yeah.
They rent their bike. They buy a day pass skiing. They live in a hotel. They buy beer and food in a restaurant. And they do it for a weekend or a week, and they come back and do the same thing next year.
Okay.
They spend money here.
Spend money here.
Yeah, very important.
And also it's very expensive to buy a bike.
Yeah.
And keep it longer time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you take that step to become that you buy a bike,
Yeah.
you're very much into this.
Yeah.
I mean, then it's not only 1 week per year. It's you more or less live in a good place for it, because it's good. It's expensive equipment, but you fall in love with your bike very much. So you want to have a good bike when you start to do it very much.
Okay.
And I mean, the rental bikes here in Åre, for example, or they are very, very good, because it's the only way to have it. If you have a bad bike, it will break, it will cost you more. So the quality of the rental bikes are very high. But I mean, there are even more levels for if you want to buy one.
So is there any kind of insurance for these customers?
Insurance?
Yeah. Like
I think it depends where you are. In Sweden we have a good system anyway, actually. You can buy insurance to further protect your clothes and your bike and things like that. But in a normal Swedish person have their insurance anyway, and that it will cover this as well for injury anyway, and things like that.
How about the tourists from outside of Sweden?
We don't push any insurance onto them. They have to choose by themselves. Yeah, probably. Hopefully. I know if you go to Canada, for example, as a foreigner, as a Swedish, we have the paper say we have insurance. There's no problem. We can do it. How exactly they do with the USA or Canadian, I don't know really. But it's not very much of a problem. I mean, this guy is one of my earlier employees here. He's one of those who take care of the trails and the riders. If there are an accident, they come and help them, actually. So there are safety guard. Yeah, there are 5 or 6 working every day here to safety guard and take care of the trails and riders. So that's the way it is here. And that's a lot, of course. Because we have a lot of riders, we have a lot of patrol, like we told.
So I heard that these bikes are very expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the cheapest one maybe around the 25,000.
No, that's not the cheapest one. That's what the rental stores.
Rental stores.
Yeah, take those. That's what I say. They're good. They don't crash very easy. So don't have to do a lot of service. So it's a good quality bike.
Okay.
but it's not the light ones that
Yeah.
that you want to have for as your personal bike. Then you can buy cheaper ones as well, but we don't do it here in the rentals anyway.
Yeah.
It is.
So how do you think about China? I mean, most of the Chinese customers, they don't know how to ski. I mean,
No.
only 1/3 of population in Urumqi, maybe they can ski, and the other 2/3 they don't. And, but the biking is very popular in China.
Yeah.
Everybody can biking. You know, they know how to biking, but they don't have experience with mountain biking.
No.
Yeah, and as well, you had the same experience when you started this business.
Well, I think I have always believed in this biking product, just
yeah.
because what you say. Because, I mean, even in Sweden, a lot of people ski.
Yeah.
About half of Swedish population have at least once been skiing.
Yeah.
Half.
Yeah.
How many of the Swedish population have bike? 100%, I would say.
Yeah.
So that's why I believe in this sport, because
Yeah.
it's outdoor. It's not very challenging. I mean, you don't have to sport very much to go up with a lift and ride down and enjoy. You can find your own level of challenge
Yeah.
when you do this.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time to people discover it.
Yeah.
And I mean, for China, for example, when the biking culture is very, very strong,
Yeah.
it's just a mind step. Go from flat and transportation. Don't think transportation.
Yeah.
Think about challenge and enjoyment.
Yeah.
That's biking.
Yeah.
When you do it like
Yeah,
this.
Yeah.
It's not transportation. You don't even have to think of it as training.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just for fun.
Yeah,
This is for fun.
Actually, my experience right now, because I first time I saw this
Yeah.
mountain biking from the top,
Yeah.
such a steep, and I biked many years when I high school and university time,
Yeah.
you know, but in the flat place.
Yeah.
So for me, like it's a little bit like extreme, a little bit.
Yeah,
tough.
sure.
Yeah.
But look here what you come. Here you see a steep part. That's not very long.
Yeah.
But when you see some rider, they go in this direction all the time.
Yeah.
You don't go straight down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the trails are built very much like this all the
Okay,
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So do you think it's the hardest part, or you have also hardest trails?
we have harder.
Yeah,
ones.
harder trail. Okay.
But we have also easier.
Yeah. Much easier than
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
that's for first learner. This
And
maybe
what
video.
you was sitting on the downhill bike in the shop.
Yeah.
You see here what they do here. You see the wheels go like this all the
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
but the body is
It's
flat.
flat.
They don't experience that. It's just the bike. And also when you go down the street here,
Yeah.
the bike is built for that. You don't feel like you're going to flop
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
You don't get that feeling when you go down here.
That
It's
is.
just,
That's true.
and you just, even if they come here and go fast, and everything is moving very much when you look at it,
Yeah.
for the rider, it's just smooth. Just,
Smooth.
you're just floating away.
Okay.
The feeling is.
Cool. Uh-huh.
And that's why you should have a good quality bike, because they do that feeling.
Okay.
Then it's more fun. So here you have the map of the trail system for the biking. So we start here. This is very much a center of it. We have another center here, but this is the big one. We start to go up with this lift. So we pass under us. We have all these trails, and we go up about 300 elevation meter now, a little bit more maybe. We will continue up to the next lift up to Hum, and that's about 400 meter, 450 meter elevation from the start. It's still only the halfway up to the top of the lift system, and another 100 meter up we have the top of the mountain. But we have biking from the top. It's not very much. Just like in winter time, it's very long winter season, so we don't need very much trails up here because it takes time to build, and the season is not very long. It's way more longer here. And it's exclusive going up here, but the big biking is down here still, anyway. What we do is we have different level of difficulties. The green ones are for the beginners, very easy ones. The blue ones is for the intermediate. The red ones are advanced, and the black ones are for the experts. And that is appealing to the rider. If you're a beginner, you don't want to end up standing on the black one. It's not fun for them. And I mean, the expert riders can ride everything, but you don't want to have beginners on the red or black trails. Definitely not in the start of their career anyway. So it's very important to have a good map, good signing on the way down, so you don't accidentally go into the black one if you don't want to. You start the day renting your bikes. Most of the people. A lot of people renting a guide or an instructor as well. Then you go up, you go down the green trails, learn how to control the bike with the brakes, you learn how to get a good balance, how to make the turns. You slowly develop yourself during the day, and most people ride the red ones in the end of the day. That's the first day. And hopefully you have had a very good day riding, and you will come back and do it a lot more and buy your own bike in 2 years from now. That's what we do. This trail is very popular as the second trail of the day, because here you learn how to turn very much, because all this trail is machine built for inside this tight forest. So it's turning all the time. Turn. 180 degrees turn more, and you come down there, 180 degrees.
Okay.
You come back around that
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
That's a blue one.
Yeah.
And then you come down to another one that's also blue, a little bit steeper.
Okay.
It's
Does it go onto this side?
this is what I think of, that
Okay.
one. You go down here
Yeah.
and back. I mean, Shimano start right with
Yeah.
this, or you go green over there and go down to Shimano.
No,
Just-
if they don't want to do a Shimano, they have to go down
Yeah.
the fire road.
Or you can go the green one here, and then because you have a way into this blue one
Yeah.
right here.
It goes to the other lift.
Yeah, let's go to the other lift.
Yeah, but then we end up in different lifts.
Well, that's like. Yeah, but it's not so far.
Because when you come here, you can go this.
Yeah. But do we just then roll to that lift and meet
Back to this one.
the lift where we started?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where are you from?
Finland. I'm from Finland. He's from England.
Okay.
But we live in Finland.
Here we have Anja from China.
Oh, okay.
Here studying this phenomena of biking here.
Hi.
Oh, you study looking around there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't have anything like this in Finland.
a little bit in Levi, yeah. Little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but facilities-wise, Sappe, which is more
Yeah,
south,
yeah.
but the hill is smaller.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah,
it's more. The services are better.
Yeah.
More trails and
yeah. Okay.
yeah. But this we went to Järvsö.
Yeah.
So, and this is really nice. We come every summer here.
Oh yeah.
Every summer.
Every
Oh
summer.
yeah.
Yeah.
For many years it means.
Well, we've been now 4 years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
4 years.
A week every
Well,
time.
me and him, and this is the first
This
year
time.
for the.
Okay,
Oh,
very good.
Okay. So how are you feeling hard?
Hard,
You think?
Hard.
Oh, yeah.
Red ones and we can try already 2 red ones.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
red ones you tried.
Yeah, we came from Tusen.
Okay, well that's a hard one. That's a hard
Really well.
because
yeah.
it's different style.
Yeah.
I've been building all this,
Ah,
but now I work as a consultant and try to get China into it. But it's not only the level of difficulty; it's also different styles.
Ah yeah.
You see, machine made.
Yeah.
It's higher speed, bigger jump if you're red ones, but you also have single track red ones. There's the tight ones, a little bit rocky and go like this all the time.
Uh-huh.
It's the same level of skill,
Okay.
but it's a totally different style.
yeah.
Ah.
You
So
see,
some are very technical, rocky or rooty.
Ah yeah.
Yeah, and some are big, wide.
Yeah.
so that's why it's so important for me. When you say red, you appeal to the rider,
Yeah.
not the trail.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
You see, that's a big difference compared to the ski slope, because ski slopes are depending how steep they are.
Yeah.
For bike trails, it's depend on how good the rider would be to enjoy the trail.
Ah, okay.
That's
For example, this one, he likes the more natural roots and the rocks.
Yeah.
With the smaller one, he likes the smoother ones with the jumps. So they like quite different. You like?
Thanks for making this.
Yeah, but I hope you find your way.
Have a nice riding.
You
Yeah.
could also go in, I think, to this one, 16,
16.
when you come here.
Yeah.
You
Oh
know.
yeah, it's where there's a
Yeah.
wooden bridge.
In the early
Yeah.
days, this was blue one.
Yeah.
It's not very hard.
No, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you can also join if you. Well, we'll talk.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, the injuries in this sport is overestimated. It's not very much, actually. I think if we compare it to skiing, which we maybe shouldn't do, but if we do that, we say this rider, they are good riders. They travel down this trail in about 10 or 15 kilometers per hour. If you go in a World Cup ride, maybe you peak at 50. You don't go faster, you peak at that. And the speed is very crucial as well, because even a mediocre ski rider, he's skiing in 60 or 70 kilometers down the slope, much faster. And the best ones are going even faster on skiing. And when something happens and you go that fast, it is another kind of injury, especially if you hit a tree, for example. So if you go down biking here, you have a lot of protection, and you don't go very fast, actually. You don't hurt yourself very much, even though you think so, because this is not snow, this is rocks. But that's one reason why we don't see very, very much injuries. Statistically, we have a little bit more injuries taken care of than skiing. But the severeness of the injury is not as high as skiing. A lot of scrubs from rocks, the collarbone is broken or the hand is broken here. But for skiing it's more knees, big problem with knees, and a little bit more on the back problems with skiing. So there's more severe injuries, but a little bit more in numbers when it comes to biking. That's the difference. But when you look at the new sport like this from outside, it's look very dangerous. But it's important in those cases to look at the statistics. It's look dangerous because you don't understand it. When you start do it another way. Okay. Wooden construction features have their own little history. It started in I think outside of Vancouver, an island, maybe it's called Vancouver Island. An area of that island was not allowed to do bike riding on the ground, on the surface. So they start to build wooden construction up in the trees instead. Often very narrow ones, expert riders of course, all of them. Very hard features all the time. But out of that, it developed to something more wide and more another style. You don't have to just have balance. You do a fun feature out of the wooden construction and ride in totally other ways. So this is what it emerged to, and it's still emerged. But it started with something in the Vancouver Island style. Så, ska vi gå ner? Perfect timing as well. So about this traveling of people, and you often, when you look at tourism, you want to see how many people live inside an area that's interesting for you, and how long will it take for them to get to you. Let's say if you look at Åre and we say 2 hours from here, how many people live in? What cities in Östersund it is? Maybe Trondheim. So we have this much people. How many of them would be interested in going to Åre in winter or summer? And in 2 hours we have to have a good quality product for them, at least for 2 days. Because 2 hours, you don't travel to Åre for 1 day if you have 2 hours to travel or more.
Yeah.
So for 2 hours travel here, you need at least 2 days of experience. and the happenings. If we extend that to, let's say, 8 hours, then we have Stockholm and we have a lot of others. There's a lot of people suddenly. But if you travel for 8 hours to get here, you need maybe 1 week of experience, new things that you can do for 1 week and have fun. And that's why the resource have to be big enough for attracting people from further away, and you have to have a lot of activities to give your customer all the time. Because if you look at the very local market, and half an hour from you, this city here, you only need little bit activities because they will do it, but they will only do it once. That's the problem. So you have to study the map and see where are we, what can we do, how will we attract people, how far away can we attract people from to get here. I mean, a small ski area, people won't travel to a small ski area if they have 8 hours, if there's only fun to be there for 2 days. That will be, for 2 hours drive or flight, it will be okay. So you have to think of how big will it be to attract people from the big regions.
So main of your tourists are from outside or from?
Oh, definitely from Sweden, but let's say it's about between 70 and 80% Swedes, then it's outside. So it's still the foreign customer is very, very important, of course. I mean, we have a revenue of some small percentage every year. That's the foreign guests are very important. That's the way it is. That's the margin.
But I mean, some outsiders, they don't know how to biking. I mean, they don't know how to use mountain biking.
Yeah.
For example, they are not from mountain area.
Yeah, yeah.
But for example, southern Europe.
Yeah.
And if they come to want to ride and they come to this very steep hills, they were scared of that. Maybe they cannot dare to riding.
Then you need the program to get them interested. First of all, you need good rental bikes that's made for this kind of terrain. Then you need an instructor or guide that show them the best way and also can learn them how to do it with the brakes and the balance and the curves. And you learn that very quickly because nearly everyone can bike. They know and understand the bike as a whole. This is just a little bit different bike that is purpose-built for downhill biking. And if you just get someone to learn you how to do it, you will learn very quickly, in hours. Then you will have much more fun directly. And you will understand the system of the map that you go in this type of riding and this type of lines. And you already understand how to bike it down. You will enjoy this the first day already, and even more the next day.
So it takes maybe
4 hours.
4 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. So
between 2 and 4 hours, I would say. Then you have reached another level. But of course, to take another step, it would be faster to go with an instructor again. But just to start the ride, you don't need more. And then you have this rental bike that's very good. You have a good accommodation. You can sit in a bar and talk about the riding during the day and have a nice time, go to sleep well, and go up and do the same thing next day. And then you do it the next day after that. And then you go home, tell your friends. They come back the next year, they stay a week, and you go biking all week.
So most of the clients are the returning clients.
Yeah.
And do you have other kind of activities?
Yeah, but like
if
I
they
said,
feel a little bit tired of biking, and
sure. Definitely. I mean, every mountain area can do a lot of things. I mean, hiking, of course, and rafting, water sport. The most mountain areas have those things you do once. We have zip line here. We have parapente twin, so you fly with an instructor, just experience the flying. All of those things are good complements. You do it once. But like I say, biking and skiing have the same effect on you. You become biker and you become skier, and you return with your friends and do it for a week more in the same place, in the same place, because it was fun. I mean, for other activities, you do it once in a life, bungee jump or zip line. You don't become that, but for bikers and skiers, you become that, and you live for that, and you do it every year, for a week every year, for 2 months every year. Depends on how interested you will become. And that's why biking and skiing connect so well, because the infrastructure you build for skiing, with the slopes, the lifts, and the hotels and the restaurants, the rentals, the ski instructors, guides, everything, just put it into summer. You have the same thing. You need the lifts. They are already there. Hotels, bars, instructors, rentals. The only difference, you don't have the skis, you have a bike instead. But you have already built the structure for biking. That's there. Just start using it. That's the point.
Amazing. It's really amazing. Cool. Hi.
Hi.
So you are the owner of this shop?
Yeah.
Okay. So you are renting stuffs?
Yeah, our main business, we rent skis in the winter and rent bikes in the summer.
Oh, yeah. So how is the business?
Oh, it's good. The skiing business is good in the winter, and the summer is getting better and better all the time.
Okay. Summer is better than winter, you mean?
No, not yet. The winter is still bigger, but summer is growing. It's bigger and bigger, and July is now almost as big as January.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the main activity in summer, you mean?
For us, it's biking, downhill biking, and regular mountain biking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So two kinds of biking.
Yeah.
Okay. So how many bikes could you tell me?
We have 50 bikes right now, and in July today we had every bike was out riding. So.
So you have a lot of customers.
Yeah.
Or is it just pre-booking or?
It's both.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's maybe 30% pre-booking and 70% drop-in.
Okay.
And in Åre in general, right now, I think we have above 400 bikes for rental.
Okay.
In all it's 5 different shops. So.
So, how do you think about this tourist experience, like compared to winter and summer and these activities?
Like I told you before, with the biking, it's really fun because people get really excited about it. Many people haven't tried it before.
Yeah.
I think for us, at least 50, maybe 60% is beginners, first time on the bike. And they're a bit scared in the beginning, and they get all the protection and think it's very dangerous. But when they come back, they're really happy. I just had a father and a 7-year-old son 2 minutes ago. And the first time, and they were, oh, this is so fun, we have to start, and how much is a bike, and when can you do it, and really interested in the sport, so it's fun.
So mainly, like, what kind of tourists they are, like family trip or individuals or like groups or?
Many families, maybe 50% families in the summer. And then we have some that come in groups, like youth, maybe between 20 and 30, that come 4 or 5 or 6 and maybe stay 2 or 3 days and rent bikes 2 or 3 days. And then we have some companies and also schools like that.
So your tourists mainly new tourists more or return tourists more?
In the summer, I think a lot of new tourists. In the winter, a lot of people coming back.
Coming back.
Yeah, because we have in the summer in Åre, I think we have a lot of tourists that hasn't been here in the winter. We're a lot bigger in the winter, so we think that, okay, everyone knows about Åre as the winter resort, but a lot of people that come here in the summer, they've never been here skiing, and they don't know about, many of them don't even ski. So they come here in the summer and they do the walking in the mountains and fishing, and then they go mountain biking.